Okay, talking about systems of equations by graphing, we're going to look at slope-intercept form first, a little refresher. X and Y, what do we think of for X and Y?
A graph.
A graph, right? Those coordinates, okay? That's exactly what they mean in this case. They're not going to be as important to us today, okay? Does anyone remember what M stands for?
Rise.
It is the slope, and slope is considered rise over run. Yep, slope is rise over run. Thinking of a graph, which one is rise, X or Y?
Y.
Y is rise, what's run? X, because Y is up and down, so we rise up and down, and we run side to side, which is X. Okay? So M is our slope. What is the B? Does anyone remember? It's a specific intercept. There's two options. Is it the X or the Y intercept?
X.
It is the Y intercept. Okay? What does the Y intercept mean? It is up and down. What does Y intercept mean though? What does intercept mean?
It goes across.
Where it crosses, right? So if I have a Y axis here, that Y intercept is right there where it crosses. Okay? Those are the two most important things when graphing lines. Okay? On your graph, you have a graph on B, right? I want you to make a X and Y axis on that graph, like we have been. Make an X and Y axis on that graph on your notes. Okay? I don't have a plain graph up here, so I'm going to make a graph. Okay, I'm going to give you an equation. We're going to graph it. So if I'm looking at the equation y equals 2/3 x plus 2. Okay, everyone write that equation down next to that graph. Y equals 2/3 x plus 2. Let's label some things. What is my M in that equation?
2/3.
2/3. And M stands for? Slope. What is my B? 2. What does the B stand for?
Y-intercept.
Y-intercept. Okay? Once we have those things, we're really done with this equation. Okay? Which one, the slope or the B, can serve as our starting point?
B.
B. Yep. So if I'm graphing B, always start at the origin. Where is the Y-intercept at if it's at 2? Where am I going from here? Up 2. Okay, so put a point at the Y-intercept where it's 2. Okay? Now that we have a starting point, we're done with B, we used it. How do I get the rest of my points? Using the slope, right? So are we starting from the origin or are we starting at our Y-intercept? Y-intercept. So we're going to go up 2. Remember, it's rise over run. And then over 3. Okay? With these, I want you to be able to do the whole graph. On your graph, can I go up and over anymore? No. I'm going to run off the graph, right? So go back to your Y-intercept. We're going to go the opposite way. Down 2, left 3. Okay, and then keep going until you run off. Did we run off? Yep. So then that's your line. Go ahead and draw your line. Now, that's how we graphed one line. Okay, that's how we graph one line. We want to graph 2. We're going to do 2 equations. So I'm going to throw another equation out there. It's not going to change anything. Okay, I'm going to do 1/2 x plus 3. 1/2 x plus 3. We're going to graph this line on the same graph. Okay, so what is my slope? 1/2. What is my Y-intercept? 3. Okay, so what's my starting point? 3 on what axis? The Y. So I'm here. Where do I go? Up 1 over 2. Where do I go next? I can still go, right? Where do I go next? Down 1 over 2. Again. Good. Yep, you still can go. Okay.
Do we have to put all those points on there?
You want to finish the graph. Does that make sense?
Why don't you keep the X?
Bad example on my part, but does your lines cross on your graph if you drew your line?
Yes,
They did cross
yes.
at some point all the way over here. Okay, so our solution to a system of equations is wherever those two lines cross. Okay, so your solution, what is the coordinate? Yours is better than mine because yours is an actual graph. What is the coordinate? What's its x?
5,
6, 5, I don't know.
1, 2, 3, 4. I got 4 something.
Goes to 4, 5. So yours on your graph should cross at 4, 5.
Wait, so it goes
Okay.
X and then Y?
Yep, x and then y always. This is your answer to the problem. Okay, so when we're doing systems of equations, you're given two lines. You're going to graph those two lines on the same graph. Wherever they intersect, that is the answer as an ordered pair.
Is this the
Okay, let's do another example. If I give you y equals 5x minus 4.
so just cross it?
And the other one, I'm going to give you y equals negative 1/2 x minus 2. Okay, so on your graph, remember yours is going to look better than mine, so you're going to have to help me out where yours actually cross. Okay, on my first one here, I'm going to call that my blue one. Where do I start?
Like,
What's my starting point?
you have to write out like the end.
I can write out the m and the b. What is my b though?
Maybe
-4, so I start at -4. Do I ever start on the x-axis? No. Okay, so I'm at -4. How do I use the slope to get the rest of my points? Up 5 and then where?
Over 1.
Yep. Treat this as 5 over 1 if you ever have a whole number. Okay, so up 5 over 1. Okay. Can you keep going? No. Up 5 over 1. I'm just going to go one more to be safe. Yep. So go ahead and draw your line. Okay, we're done with that line. Now we move on to the other line. Where do I start for the other line? -2 on which axis? Y. And then my slope.
down 1.
Good, it's negative. So you go down 1 over 2. Notice they already cross, right? So I don't have to keep going. Where do they cross at? Estimate.
-2, and then I got 1/2. Cross about right in the middle of the.
Crosses right here.
I give up.
So where do they cross at? The x value of this is approximately what?
-2.
Careful.
Or,
No, you have to put it in coordinates.
I didn't see it.
Yep, you got to put in coordinates, so we want our x first. What's my x coordinate?
I said half.
Is it 1 on your graph or is it a half?
I said half.
It's half, so let's put 0.5. And then what's the y to that?
2. -2.
-2. Yep. So that is where they cross. Questions? We okay? Couple more things I want to talk about is what if it told you y, oh, I don't want to use green. What if it told you y equals 3 in this case?
I think that's it.
Okay, you don't have to graph it. If that's all it told you, how would you graph that?
+3.
Up 3, okay? So if I say that right here is my 3, where's the line though? Is it going to go this way or is it going to go this way? It's going to go this way because that's the only y value it hits. Okay, so if you have y equals 3, it just makes a line at that y-intercept. Okay, similar idea. What if I had x equals 3?
Then it would go like this.
It would go up and down at
The third point.
the third point on the x-axis. Okay, so you can still create lines even if it's not in the slope-intercept form. One more example.
And then we don't know what.
So find just an empty spot somewhere in your notes. It's not on an actual graph. We're not graphing this. Okay. Sometimes your homework will not give you exactly y equals mx plus b form. We're going to have to do algebra to get it to this form. So I'm going to give us two equations. One is 2x plus 3y equals negative 6. You will see this on your homework, so make sure we write this down so we can look back at it. And then my other equation, I'm going to have x plus 6y equals 6. Those are my two equations. What is wrong with both of those?
They're not,
One, they're
Like-
backwards.
Could we graph them right now?
no,
No, why not?
Because they're
it's,
backwards.
it's not mx plus b form.
Right, and we need y by itself in order to graph. Okay, so how do you think we're going to get y by itself in this case?
You already told me that.
Yep, we're going to do math. Okay, so what's the first step to get y by itself?
Wait, maybe.
What do I need to do with this?
Minus plus x.
We're going to subtract 2x on both sides. Subtract 2x on both sides. So on this side, I have 3y left equals, and then we want to keep it in y equals mx plus b form. So we're going to have negative 2x minus 6. What is my last step to get y by itself? Yep. Divide by 3. Now pay attention to this. Divide by 3 to everything. Okay, divide by 3 to everything. So we get y equals 2 divided by 3. Can I simplify that?
No, it's just negative.
Nope. So it's negative 2/3 x, and then negative 6 divided by 3.
Negative 2,
Negative 2. Now is that in a form where we can graph?
yes.
Yes, that was our goal. Okay, we're not going to graph it, but that's what we wanted to get to. Okay, now what about the other one? Same thing, right? Can we graph it just by looking at this?
Yeah.
No, why not?
Can't do it.
Because what do you need to get by itself?
Here's the y by itself.
You have to get y by itself, so what's my first step to get y by itself?
Minus 6x.
Minus x, yep. Subtract x on both sides. So we have 6y equals, what way should I write it on the right side?
1x.
Negative x, right? Negative x plus 6, but what's technically in front of that x?
1.
A 1, right? Last step, divide by 6 to
X equals
everything, right? So we have y equals negative 1 divided by 6. Can I simplify?
No,
Nope. Remember, do we want decimals? No, because why?
because you can't graph it.
Right, you want rise over run, so we want to keep fractions. Okay, and then 6 divided by 6?
1.
1. Now these are both in the form to where we could graph those. Okay, how would, if it asked us to find the solution to these two equations, how would you do that?
Graph it.
We would graph it, and then what would its solution be?
Where the cross.
Where they cross, the coordinate, right? Remember, your answers are going to be written in coordinate form. What coordinate always comes first?
X.
X, and then
Y.
y. Okay?